This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with singer, songwriter, model, the incredible AJ FRESQUEZ. But before we get to our interview, here is a sneak peek at AJ's incredible talent with his song, Trigger.
Control. I know you wanna touch my body. Explode. Emotions got me feeling some kind of way. Rendezvous. An escapade made for two. All too mood. All alone, just me and you. Trigger. Every time you look into my eyes, every time your body's next to mine, you got me triggered. Every time your body's next to mine, you got me triggered.
Well, hello, AJ, how are you?
Hi, Will. I'm doing great. How are you?
AJ, doing so much better now that I'm finally speaking with you. And talk to me a little bit about Trigger and how that whole idea of the song came about for you.
Well, I had been hanging out with a group of my friends, and I'm kind of always writing. So they were throwing around this word trigger. They were like, oh my gosh, my daughter keeps using this word. Like, she's just so triggered by things, and like in like a really dramatic way. And then it made me start thinking, and I was like, that's a really great idea. Like, that's a great way to describe like so many things. I just thought it was like a fun, catchy concept for the hook. And then as I started writing it, really all the verses became the things that like I think in my head when I'm interested in somebody, or like, you know, when I want to talk to them or like get to know them, and romantically. And like I just started writing all the things that I would never like say in person, right? Like, because I'm a very outgoing person, but when it comes to that topic of conversation, I can get very shy.
Well, listen, I think that's very relatable, AJ. I mean, thank goodness we have someone like you who is going to speak for all of us who are probably feeling very similar things in those types of conversations. Now,
Right.
AJ, I need to talk about your background. I mean, you are a walking brand, giving us a little sneak peek of your album cover.
Yeah.
I think
That's
it's I've done over 1,000 of these interviews. By far the best background yet.
thank you.
AJ, I
I,
want to know, where were you born and when did you realize that you had a love of performing?
well, I was born in Southern California, in Torrance, like the South Bay area. And I've been singing from what my dad told me since I before I could walk, like in the crib, I was singing. um, and then I started doing it in grammar school, and I sung like all the way through high school. I actually stepped away from it because growing up, like there weren't a lot of out gay, like lesbian, LGBTQ like figures to look up to. And I always thought that it was something that was unachievable. And then I stepped away from it. I want to say until like 2006, I started like playing around with it again, and I didn't start writing until about 2008. And somehow ended up like meeting a producer, and him and I worked together. He's actually the only one that I work with currently. I've tried to work with some other ones, but the chemistry of like creating a song, it just isn't as synergistic as it is with him at the moment. Um, and then before I knew it, like in 2019, I think I had like 4 or 5 songs in my catalog that like I hadn't started releasing them yet. And I just started to feel more confident about it. And it became more like instead of like why, it became like a why not, you know. And I wanted to do something to raise that up. Like I know there's other people out there doing it, and I think that's awesome. I just don't see enough like indie pop people doing
Mm.
that, and I really want to be that voice for people. Because every song that I have, if it unless it's a cover, I write it. I come up with the melody. It's something that is really important to me. Like I have a song, "Enough Is Enough," and I wrote it about um abuse, like surviving abuse, like being able to stand up and saying like enough is enough. Like it just no one should have to go through that, but there needs to be somebody to tell that story.
It's amazing, AJ. I mean, it's amazing because I'm thinking about young AJ, who stopped singing for a minute, who maybe didn't maybe find a home or a place or felt like a place that he could do the thing he wanted to do. But
Yeah,
now that you're doing and you are in the within the platform that you have, are giving voice to maybe the other young AJs out there who now have a new North Star to look to. Is that something you think about sometimes?
I think about that a lot. Because I like it all started when I lost my grandma, and I realized that there's like no more time left, like
Yes.
really, and if I could just even if I never make it like on the actual radio, knowing that I changed somebody's life or maybe like made them realize that they're worth more than they know and that they should value that and seek someone that does value the same thing. That's enough for me.
Well, I'm very moved by your story, AJ, because I can tell how close you were to your grandma. My grandma, my dad's mom, was my best friend. So when I lost her, it did put a lot of things in perspective for me. And I think also this whole notion as artists, especially in this fast-paced social media world we live in, about making it. I
Right.
don't think it's about likes or followers or retweets. It's about
No,
that one person, you know?
I totally agree.
Well, listen, AJ, I could speak with you forever. You got me going. You're an incredible talent. I want to let the audience know for more on the amazing AJ. You can read more about him right below this video. AJ, I'm so excited you're coming on board this incredible new social media platform for artists. I've gotten to
Too.
speak with at least 100, specifically indie pop, either singer-songwriters or producers all over the world. I'm excited that you're joining the platform to connect with other artists, potentially even collaborate. And also, I'm just excited that we're now connected, AJ.
Absolutely.